Welcome back to Knowledge Hive, where we believe knowledge is a service and sharing it empowers all of us. I'm your host, Leisa Sims, CEO of Knowledge Hive. Today, I will discuss the skill as a service revolution, monetizing niche expertise in 2026. What if the most obscure, specialized knowledge you possess could become your potential goldmine? In 2026, the entire concept of a career is flipping on its head, and your niche expertise is the key. Today, I'm diving deep into the frameworks and platforms empowering professionals to monetize their unique skills, fundamentally redefining career trajectories beyond anything you've seen before. For decades, careers followed a familiar script. Get educated, pick a role, climb a ladder, retire, hopefully more or less intact financially. But the model is breaking really fast. In 2026, value no longer comes from job titles, it comes from deployable expertise. That shift has a name. Skill as a service, or as we call it, knowledge as a service on Knowledge Hive. Not the overused freelancing term, not consulting as we used to know it, but modular, on-demand, highly specialized knowledge sold directly into the markets that desperately need them. Today, we're going to unpack why skill as a service is accelerating now, what types of niche skills are suddenly valuable, and also the frameworks you can use to productize your expertise, and the platforms powering the shift, and how careers in 2026 are being built without employers at the center. This episode is not about hustling harder, it's about owning leverage. Let's start by why this revolution is happening at all. Traditionally, careers are breaking apart because it depended on organizational stability. But three forces have shattered that assumption. First, AI is compressing generalist work. According to McKinsey, up to 30% of hours worked globally could be automated by 2030, with knowledge work heavily affected. Unfortunately, that means general skills are becoming less expensive. Secondly, companies buy capabilities, not people. Firms no longer ask, who should we hire? They ask, what capability do we need right now? This is visible in fractional executives, on-demand security experts, AI governance advisors, regulatory specialists, and even Deloitte calls this the capability-based organization. And third, careers are becoming modular. LinkedIn data shows a continued rise in portfolio careers, short-term expert engagements, and independent knowledge professionals. Careers are no longer ladders, they are marketplaces. And that leads us to skill as a service. What does skill as a service mean? Skill as a service is not hourly freelancing or gig work or selling time for money. It is, however, packaging outcomes, monetizing decision-making, selling access to rare knowledge, and kind of think of it as software as a service, but the software is you. Key characteristics are that it's narrow, not broad. It's very outcome-focused. It is repeatable. And it is detached from a single employer. Examples are AI model risk audits for the financial institutions, HIPAA compliance readiness for digital health startups, merger and acquisition cyber security due diligence to help assure that they meet private equity requirements. These aren't jobs, they're capabilities with a price tag. Harvard Business Review calls this shift the unbundling of the professional work. And how do you identify your monetizable niche? Here's the myth. My experience isn't niche enough. That's almost always false. Let's use the 3-layer niche framework. Layer 1 is the domain. Identify the industry or environment that you've worked in. Examples are healthcare, manufacturing, fintech, government, education, etc. Layer 2 is the constraint. What made the work hard? Was it regulation, legacy systems? Was it risk? Was it scale? Was it ethics? What decisions did you influence? What approvals did you make? What risk acceptance did you promote? What architecture did you design? What policy did you enforce? What budget did you put in place? So basically, a niche is a domain plus constraint plus a decision. Here's an example. I help mid-market hospitals decide which AI tools were safe to deploy under HIPAA. That's not a resume line, that's a service offering. According to Gartner, organizations increasingly seek decision-ready expertise rather than staffing. Okay, so now let's prioritize your expertise. This is where most people fail. They describe expertise instead of packaging it. So let's talk about how to do that. The productization ladder, level 1 is access, office hours, advisory calls, and expert networks. And they use platforms like Knowledge Hive, GLG, Alpha Sites, Catalant, etc. And then level 2 on this is the diagnostics. So assessments, audits, readiness reviews. For an example, AI governance readiness assessment, 14 days, fixed fee. Level 3 are things like playbooks, templates, frameworks, standard operating procedures, policies, etc. Level 4 is embedded capability, fractional roles, retainer advisory, ongoing oversight. This mirrors how companies buy software. They try it, then they diagnose whether they like it, and then they implement it, and then they retain it. My favorite part of this whole thing, thanks to Knowledge Hive, platforms powering these skills as a service or knowledge as a service, as we call it. The revolution is not hypothetical. It's actually already happening. Key platform categories are expert marketplaces like Knowledge Hive, BTG, Business Talent Group, TopTal, and these are used heavily by Fortune 500, private equity firms, consulting firms, etc. Knowledge monetization platforms like Gumroad, Maven, and Podia are used for playbooks, courses, advisory cohorts, etc. And then direct-to-client infrastructure are things like Stripe and Substack and LinkedIn. The power shift is real. Okay, all that said, what can your career look like in 2026? In 2026, successful professionals don't chase promotions, don't rely on single income streams, don't define themselves by employers. Instead, they manage a portfolio of skills, a portfolio of clients, a portfolio of products, and they think like product managers and platform builders, and they also are the risk managers of their own careers. The World Economic Forum predicts portfolio careers will become a dominant professional model. Now it's up to you. What's your next move? Here's the truth. The safest career in 2026 is not a job, it's market relevance. Here's your homework. Identify your decision-based niche. Package one repeatable service. Choose one platform, Knowledge Hive preferably. Test demand, not perfection, because the future doesn't belong to the most employable. It belongs to the most deployable. If this episode helped reframe how you think about your skills, share it with someone still clinging to that old career playbook. And if you are a business that needs the type of individuals I've discussed today to help your business, or if you are one of these people, we would love to help you at knowledgehive.co. Knowledge Hive is an on-demand marketplace for top-tier professionals who are willing to share what they know with others who need their expertise. If you're looking for help, you're a seeker. And if you're offering help, you're a hiver. If you love this episode, share it with someone who's also reimagining their next chapter. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep building the future on your terms. Again, I'm Leisa Sims. I'd love to hear your freelance or consulting journey or put your thoughts below on this topic. You can connect with me on LinkedIn or at knowledgehive.co. New episodes drop every week, so don't forget to subscribe, ring the dang bell, you know the drill. And if you haven't already, go create a free profile on knowledgehive.co. Until next time, we are Knowledge Hive, and we are Knowledge as a Service.